curious to see would there be Jets in play. I think Ender brings a great point up. The verticality kind of demands it. But Zekin playing the Jet instead of Cryo Cells, I mean, I think the focus on Cryo is very well awarded.
Yeah, and I mean, Cryo, obviously one of the best chambers, though, that we've seen in North America, so it's not too surprising to see him take up that role. And here's the thing about Jet. We saw this yesterday when we saw Sentinels playing against Luminosity, you know, the B-Dog and Tens battles that were taking place on Breeze with the Jets. It's still something that's viable in this patch. It's just, it takes a little bit more pre-planning. You can't be as reactive. You have to really plan out when you're going to go into that mode and when you're going to make use of it.
How about this for some pre-planning? We've got a Paranoia fault line combination through mid as Koala looked to get some influence through grass. It does get flashed back, but the spam through the wall actually does land, so BCJ, not able to self-sustain, will take the first bit of damage here.
Yeah, and again, it was interesting to see Haven come out. This was not a map that XSET were super well known for last stage. They were more like Split, Bind, Breeze. That was kind of their core three maps they were very strong on. And Ghost, meanwhile, looked really good on this map. Only one loss in like their last 10 or so games played. And a lot of that was through the qualification process to help them get here. So, you know, point is, I think Ghosts are probably not too upset about seeing Haven come through. It's kind of what I'm getting at.
For real.
But you know, the other thing that Mimi kind of talked about was that, you know, hey, we haven't really seen XSET play much since last stage. They played a couple of academy teams in one of the Nerd Street Summer Opens and actually won that, but, you know, haven't really had to show too much yet. So maybe they've come up with something that makes them confident in this Haven pick. We do see them getting into Garage here pretty well, looking to split this side. John Cutie trying to battle it a little bit, but Zekin still forces through.
Oh, and the counter fault line actually does hit the majority of the members that are making the play over towards Garage. Pinstripe goes to kill feed, but the trades favor XSET when all is said and done. Last two defenders, Brock, Nismo on the outside looking in. No fault line is mentioned. That's the last flashpoint to go down, but Nismo just walks on in from the corner, gets a double. Now it's just Zekin. Knows where the last two players are. Gets a shoulder of Nismo and finishes off with the third. The opening Red Bull clutch. It's XSET who take the pistol.
And Zekin has a nice closer to it. I mean, a guy who's definitely known for Raze as far as duelists go, but really kind of settled into more of a flex role in this team, playing a lot of KO and a lot of Sky in particular when, you know, we first saw Cryo on the team. That's kind of the role he adopted, and he was pretty quick to be really sharp at it. But I do see a world where Zekin could be that really strong rifling entry Jet. You know, now that the tailwind takes a little bit of pre-planning, you can still use that on attacking sides to set up pushes. And, you know, Zekin's that guy that has shown his adaptability and his fearlessness and his willingness to do what it takes. And I think him as a rifling Jet can be great when you still have Chamber as a sniping option for Cryo Cells. And so we are going to see Ghost looking to get aggressive here on this Eco.
And it's the same setup, thus, defensively with utility to kind of get some clarity of what's happening through mid. So a show of force on John pushing through A long. That will be rendezvoused back, but Koala does sneak through this time. The early counter flash on BCJ was really just there to make sure there was a little bit of opening to make sure there was no early push, but they're a little bit blind on this stack setup through mid, just trusting the trademarks will catch it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, this is still, you know, 4.08, so there's still 2 trademarks available for Chamber, not the one. That's going to be coming up. I think that's week 3 when we start seeing that next patch. We are going to see this attack coming in here pretty quickly right now. Good Paranoia comes through the block, some vision. They get control of the site. Sewers is still being held, though, defensively by Ghost. That's something that XSET are going to have to keep tabs on as Dev tried to challenge it there, and John Cutie made him pay, and now this gets troublesome.
And he gets damaged before falling. That's a lot of value coming out from the sole defender of the B site, pardon me, the A site. Coming through B is the rest of the Ghost defense, is where I was going with that, and BCJ has already locked down any further play through, and that may just be it. Brock, Proto, last 2 left, no utility for either of them to use in this 2v4 retake. Of course, just with pistols. And, well, there's the peek from Proto. Brock will get an opportunity, but cannot make use of it, and XSET will clean things up, only dropping 1.
Yeah, this is a good start here for XSET because their defense on this map has always been pretty good. I mean, we talked about how their Haven wasn't that impressive. They lost, what, 2 of their games in the group stage, last stage against the Guard and Cloud9. But outside of that, when you looked at some of the qualifiers and Nerd Street Winter and things of that nature, 70% defensive win rate. It's been their attack that's kind of hurt them. They got 0 attacking rounds against Cloud9, for example, in the first half of, you know, their playoff match against them, and that really hurt them. I think that's something they've probably been tinkering with a lot as they come into this bonus.
Let's see. XSET once again, giving some cause to make sure that Ghost does not get too far forward, who continue to, honestly, they keep throwing a lot of early utility here just to make XSET question, is there actually a play forward? Koala reveals his position and nearly got caught out, but instead gets the opening elimination, and then decides he wants to go forward, and the Cloudburst will be there as a tactic to get back and to secure a 5v4.
You know, they've also burnt that dash out of Koala Noob there by putting that pressure on Sewers. Zekin, meanwhile, looking to take point over towards B. There is a trademark in the corner that will give this up if he decides to commit any further. But still taking a lot of map control early here is XSET clearing out Sewers now as well. There's BCJ. So they're keeping the pressure on Ghost on multiple fronts, so they are a man down with Cryo Cells being taken off the board.
Oh, Proto catches this.
Yep.
Looks like this will be a commitment, though, so it's not just Proto trying to delay with the paranoia. John, oh gosh, he's just waiting as the bird literally sits on his shoulder. Still goes 1 for 1, which is largely not bad at all. Proto is still on site, and he's completely taken down the spike carrier, but a delayed aftershock will get the secured trade. So now Ghost, defensively, relying on Koala from the long flank from C, may have done enough just off of the trust that John wasn't going to get flashed.
And that's always the thing you can do with those guiding lights is fake people out. You know, you can send it forward and make them second guess when you're actually going to pop it off, as BCJ needs them more than ever now to stop this as they're trying to push him in. He lines them up, but Brock will get the frag, and so the bonus will not be converted there by XSET. Good job from Ghost. Quick flank there from Koala Noob certainly helped things along, and good initial pick early. And now things are going to even back up, and the thing about Ghost is they've been pretty balanced on this map. You know, they're near 58% on both sides of the map. The thing is, they just haven't played the stiffest competition. It's like the biggest team that they played against was Dark Zero Esports in the first open qualifier, and they got smashed. They only got 3 defensive rounds in the first half of that game. And then outside of that, they had a couple of wins against Zero Marksman Black, and, you know, a couple of other teams that have been kind of struggling lately when they were playing in the Knights Gauntlet against Complexity and T1. But this is a whole different challenger in XSET.
Absolutely. And XSET off that bonus, even though they don't get the spike planted, they have forced a difficult decision here for Ghost as far as what they're bringing to the weapon table. And actually, the little play through A lobby, this is the first time we've seen XSET try to beat the timing of the defensive utility, and you could see Ghost is respecting that they could be pushed up into sewers here.
Yeah, they have to deal with the fact that Ghost has also pushed Closet and C and have a bit of a bait and switch setup here.
Yeah.
That's something that could certainly challenge Cryo Cells, who... Cryo is just a really patient player. You know, he's never really going to overreact or go too headstrong into something. I think that's what made him such a good Jet last stage, is he would kind of hold on to his tailwind. Like, he wouldn't burn it off his first peak. He was really good about kind of getting the most out of it. So you're going to see Zekin get suppressed here in sewers. Koala Noob looking to play up close with Nismo as help. There comes the pop flash. Yeah, but it's a nice trade from Aaron.
And you got to keep in mind that as XSET are going to commit through that 1-for-1 exchange with Seekers now threatening the A site, this play through C long could avoid the trademarks, but it will not avoid the Seeker. That's the problem about this. So XSET will walk on and get the plant off, and Ghost will have to restructure for the retake 4v4.
Yeah, XSET have good positions as well, and again, they know that their flank is covered. They can just focus on Heaven and low side. Good smoke goes up. That's a one-way there as they settle in underneath Heaven. Fault line comes through to try to help break Ghost in, but counter aftershock slows him down.
Holy Heaven push. 3 Ghost members from the top side. There's the opening flash. Cryo looking to spam things out. Will not find anything as Ghost have gotten their way onto the low ground, but oh, it's the counterplay through hell. Aaron and Dev just locking things up. The last 2 defenders of the initial plant works out just fine. And XSET, who were so good at full strength in stage 1, continue to be so here through our 4 rounds.
Yeah, I mean, that was just really good setups here. I mean, yeah, the flash just came in, but a really good job just kind of playing underneath Heaven together, setting up these crossfires and just trading efficiently through and through. Also some good counter utility to slow Ghost down on the initial portion of that retake with the counter aftershock low side. So just a really thorough approach to things from XSET as they go up 3-1, and Ghost on the back foot now, just some upgraded pistols. A couple of ults are in play, though, including Quality, who will get the Bladestorm out. Looks like it aggressive here at Sewers.
Opening knife, I don't know if it hit maybe more than just 1 member, though, here defensively. So Ghost has to pay a little bit of respect to what very well may be happening. And with the knife play, it actually allows an opportunity for John to also bring Tour de Force into play. So lots of kill potential here as XSET maybe get a bit of a read, want to push through. It's the Rolling Thunder call through Garage, but Proto has stayed alive. Good prediction on the corner. It's a shotgun in hand, and a little bait and switch. It was punishing, but it still works out. Koala rotating over defensively has found one, and John also lands it true for the opener. Cryo fighting back, keeps it to a 2v2, and the weapons largely still stay in possession of XSET.
Wow, that was a hero play from Cryocells. Things were getting real tough right there, but his 2 kills allowed them to get the ult and get the spike out, and now he catches Koala Noob out in the open by Garage. That's setting up the 2-on-1 post plant at the A side, and they aren't even staying completely on the side. They're going to pair up here at A lobby and make sure that Nismo has no chance to get any type of 1v1 out of this. He only has the knife, which he can use for intel under heaven, but he still has a lot to clear after that.
Yeah, sewers are long. That's the only options here. And Nismo's going to check the former. You'll very quickly realize no one's going to give him a peek, largely because they're not there. Our cover allows him an opportunity to try to stick, and he will, almost get it to halfway by the look of it, but Cryo just spams his thumbs through, and that will be good for 4 for Cryo. Heroic efforts as XSET are able to retain their very healthy advantage now at 4-1.
Yeah, that was a really good trailblazer to clear out Garage and push the shorty back, and I also like how Zekken baits out the shorty's 2 bullets and then dashes backwards to set up the trade, but we saw some good resistance from Ghost from that point forward, and it was really Cryocells that had to save the day. Winds up with the quad kill when it's all said and done. Now has his ult, bring Tour de Force forward. Everyone else will be able to rifle up. Zekken's 1 off the Blade Storm. Looks like we're going to see some aggression defensively here, though, from Koala Noob at Garage.
Yeah, and actually this is interesting because based on the stack from XSET, you kind of thought that there was going to be an aggressive utility exchange trying to get Zekken over towards the A orb. But so far, happy to kind of stack up through lobby and feel out what exactly Ghost wants to do here.
Yeah, Koala Noob has so much vision, though, on middle right now at this Garage doorway. There's really nothing that's stopping that. And we do see a Guiding Light put into B side to put that little bit of pressure towards middle, and that has actually pushed Koala Noob back towards the window side of Garage. Meanwhile, XSET looking to take this control of A side. There is a forward angle, though, being held by John Cutie and Sewers. And so they still have some pretty good tabs all across the map on what's going on. Ult being built up there for Zekken. Clock still has plenty of time left for XSET to work things out, but they just don't really have that much space other than long A at this point.
And that's really been kind of the narrative of the first 5 rounds that we've had. It's XSET kind of allowing Ghost to take the map and then fighting for these, I won't say last-second executes, but they're pretty last-second. Cloudburst dashing forward. Zekken's trying to bait Ghost to rotate, and he's done it successfully for the most part. I only say for the most part, though, because one of the most stout Ghost defenders in Proto is still making sure nothing's coming through C. And now that the spike is down, there goes the counter paranoia just to give himself a little bit more space. It actually does force the rendezvous back, and Proto has single-handedly maybe just won this round.
Yeah, he may very well have. XSET did a pretty good job, keeping people interested on that A side of the map. Not only was it Zekken putting the pressure on with this ult, but it was also the good smoke placements that you'd expect to see on an execute, but Proto just wins so many big fights.
Oh, but they're not going to get the spike planted, the Rolling Thunder. Oh.
Yeah, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
Good thought from XSET, just a Proto really killed the execution. It seemed like the timing was a little bit off on the Garage side of that push. It was really relying on Cryo getting that pick through long C, and I think if they would have been in Garage a little bit quicker and split the side of Proto, would have got overwhelmed. That fate could have worked out a lot better. But good hold for XSET to keep the lead here, man. But Ghost,
I was going to say, I know that we spent a lot of time in the desk broke down the whole backstory of Nismo, but you look back to Proto's history, and he played with LG and a couple other kind of roulette wheel teams before that. He's always been a great solo defender. He definitely ranks in my mind as one of the best in North America, and he's showing why, even on an agent that you wouldn't normally assume could pull off those 1v multiples.
Obviously a big Sentinel player in his time over at LG, but coming in as a controller on this team, as you see Quality looking to get aggressive yet again here on the A side, but going to be thwarted. XSET will maintain control here of this A lobby position, also still keeping tabs on middle. Trailblazer will clear some of these close corners. Allow them a little bit more presence there as they back off.
Second Guiding Light as well. And again, it's just the same thing for XSET. Almost, I mean, it's over-embellishing the point, but it's like they're sitting at spawn.
Those had the read, in my opinion, here.
Mark. Yeah, I think so too. There's the flash through. Proto will negate most of it. Paranoia comes out, but the fault line will concuss him as more Guiding Lights start to litter the site. But Zekken actually puts himself into a pretty strange corner, kind of cloud bursting himself away from the other defenders, and it will turn into a trade that favors XSET to get on site and get a plant.
Yeah, different kind of way to trebuchet your jet into the site. Usually see them get on top of the site boxes themselves. That's something that Austin used to make very famous with the 100 Thieves last stage, and several other players kind of followed that trend, but he goes platforming. It's a big entry, and now XSET are collapsing on this retake. Only 2 left on the side, and XSET still have main advantage here.
There will be a revive, you would assume, here for Quality. He's trying to bait out a peek, but the problem about this is Brock was already inside and has to come back just to secure Nismo's third body. So now 3v3, time a huge problem for the defuse. Def, of course, is holding for the fault line. That will naturally connect. BCJ looking to challenge, gets the lineup, no problems there. And Qualinoob is just trying to get out of here to save the operator and will take Aaron with him on the way. BCJ may challenge, but the updraft will create enough space to get around the corner. And the op will be salvaged as XSET get to 5.
Yeah, so despite Ghost having the read, XSET just brute forced their way through anyway. Second acting as a battering ram with that dash onto the C platform. Again, a little bit of a different angle a Jet would take on a dash into C. It's a couple of big assists and frags to help open things up for XSET. Right back to winning ways, not allowing Ghost to build up any momentum here.
Or much of an economy.
Yeah, exactly. Now, granted, they also are a little bit worse for wear, having to bring a couple of Spectres into this battle, but Brox is kind of on the same page as that. Also, ult turn, completely non-existent for both teams, essentially.
Wallace still staying frisky with these early plays through Garage. This time it's just a missed shot, and look how quick XSET want to go. Second Seekers of the half, by the way, for BCJ, who's had a great first half here offensively.
And that's what I was curious to see. I feel like he struggled last stage, even though he was like coming into it as like one of those really top-level Sovas that also flexes into Sky.
That's fair. Well, John has gotten through the link, and Second did not expect this. Aftershock will be spent as XSET double chow, and once more Ghost heavy stacking up towards Heaven. They were successful in getting the opening kills, unsuccessful in converting it into a full retake, and this time Aaron playing a little bit closer will continue to punish. Second, just absolutely fiddling with his prey, looking for a bit of timing, and it will work out successfully as a team ace gets called in. And it'll be 6-2 through 8. XSET all over the offense.
Yeah, really good job by XSET. Those Seekers kind of let them know that Ghosts were playing more of a retake A setup, so they were able to just capitalize onto the site. And once again, they've been good on these post plants on this A side of the map. I mean,
absolutely,
as you've noted a couple of times, it's been some pretty heavy A rotations from Ghosts for these retakes, and that's a very hard thing to achieve. You know, it kind of lets you bypass some of the various breach utility that would get used on the low side, but you still have to find a way to safely get into A site from up top, and you have to start using utility to clear out the site to try to scare people off, to give you that chance to jump down, and it's just really tough to pull off, and XSET have been on top of things. I mean, look at the frag distribution for XSET right now. I mean, they're all right there within one frag of each other. All have had their moments, and this has been a hot start in their pick. Again, a map pick that we were, kind of wondering about.
Absolutely. And obviously the track record is one thing, but also the fact that since the patch comes through here in the group stage, we hadn't seen any teams play Haven yet. So we were kind of curious to see what the compositional choices will be. Do you have anything to say maybe about the kind of differences that we're getting out of BCJ's utility compared to Nismo's? Because at the moment, I feel like Ghost is spending so much in the first 30 seconds of the round, and XSET is just happy to let them spend resources and then look to execute with 45 on the clock.
I mean, Ghosts are definitely using resources early to try to take early map control away from XSET to set up these aggressive defensive plays. But XSET have been more than content just to sit back, let them burn that, let them take that initial space, and then when they go for the execute, it's not there anymore to worry about. And that's been kind of the overall kind of theme that we've seen, but XSET looks like they might be picking up the pace here on C side this time. They're all stacked over here. Just trademarks watching the flanks. It is a retake C setup for Ghost, so it's free pickings right now for XSET, who clear out, get the spike into position. Obviously around where Ghosts don't have too much to use. See if they can make something happen with these pistols, though.
There's a double trademark obstacle course for Ghost to work through, and oh boy, that's actually more impacting than you may seem. The slow field is going to take this thing from a walk to a crawl, and Aaron is still here. Fault line to help him. Paranoia to create a bit of separation. Flashes in for Ghost trying to commit, but the kills just are not coming through. It'll be a Prime Gaming flawless, and XSET. Okay, now I think we know exactly why they've chosen this map. They're looking indomitable on this offensive side.
Yeah, I mean, again, that's something that we've seen with XSET throughout I mean, really the past year time frame. Again, you go back to when they brought Zekken and Def on board. You go into cryo cells, and not only have they added skill to this team each time they've made a move, and also a true in-game leader in Def, but I feel like their mid-rounding has just gotten more and more polished over time. And I mean, that makes sense, right? You get more reps, you build more chemistry, you start, you know, shaping up those protocols and how you want to react to certain situations on the fly. And, you know, all this time between stages has probably given them a lot of chances to practice and really fine-tune that. And they definitely don't really ever look not on the same page this game. Other than that one C split, I feel like their timings have been pretty spot on.
I agree. Well, we see the aggression through A long this time for XSET. They do get a trademark out of it, plus they get the rendezvous spent from John. The thing that's been different, though, in this full buy for Ghost is they're actually sending Proto back over to A this time. So the stout defender for Ghost now trusted to try to make life more difficult for XSET if they decide to go A.
Yep, really just putting a lot of faith in Koala Noob to solo hold long C with that operator. As XSET again feint a little bit of presence towards A side, now looking to take up into the middle. You haven't really seen a B attack out of them yet, so this would be a little bit of a change up. With only 3 rounds left to go in this half, including this one, a different page pulled out might catch Ghost off guard. And there is a trademark watching this front doorway, so it will detect this. And does get the slow off, but Def will plant through it anyhow, and now we have to wait for another retake attempt from Ghost.
The mind conditioning right there from XSET had just forced Ghost to even throw Brock over into A. Lots of damage, but healed up as BCJ still has the overgrowth. No worries there. Post-plant setup for XSET all through the middle of the map. No one is going to be inside the B site, but Ghost are just going to walk in. They're not spending anything to retake the site itself. Long lurk. Keep Aaron in your mind over towards the right. Rolling Thunder now for XSET to try to delay the retake as long as humanly possible. Maybe actually create some space for Aaron to make their way over. The trade's starting to come through. Cryo through Garage. Good for one. Trade's in the mix. Brock tries the stick. Spam from Cryo, not going to connect with anybody, and Brock will punish. Numbers were good, and Ghost shutting down the double pinch play. They have enough time to get their 3rd round done. That is a brilliant retake from Ghost.
It is really well done. Like you said, XSET weren't spending too much at the Finn slipe. They were mostly playing middle, but I like how they weren't, you know, pigeonholed that way. They had Aaron making the long flank through A. They also did have Cryo cells being able to come up through Garage, as you see here, actually able to get this kill and start making things interesting. But to Ghost's credit, they break off this defuse, and they catch some huge frags, particularly Nismo. Comes up big, catching that flank from Aaron inside the A link. And so they finally get one going. And that was really the battle I was looking forward to see. Nismo versus Zekken, the 2 flexes.
Yeah.
You know, curious to see how things were going to play out, and that's a big round for Nismo.
Ooh, a little trouble here for Ghost. Going to get fault line with this double stack behind bricks. Koala obviously has the escape mechanism needed, but oh, this is not good whatsoever. Zekken's able to take down one. Nismo, very fortunate to be alive right now. And Koala stalls an angle. What a flick that is onto Zekken. Looking low, shooting high. Now you've got an opportunity for Ghost to maybe salvage this first half as they're in a 4v3.
I'm actually a little surprised Zekken peeked when the Trailblazer didn't get shot. You know, you have to suspect that someone might still be holding your angle, but may not matter. BCJ gets a big kill onto a Proto. Crowd's already in C, catching John Cutie way off guard. Pops the ult, now can guard the back hallways as Spike makes its way up. Seekers is going to spot that there's still one player on B side. That's Koala Noob's operator. Now they're a man behind on this retake, despite all the success they had early at A.
And there's something to be said about XSET defaulting to playing closer towards their offensive spawn, not fully committing in the early game. Allows them an opportunity to kind of sneak some members to this site. So Cryo trusted to hold the backside of the defensive spawn, and Ghost are going to concede. Money being low, and they say, we want this operator for round 12.
Yeah, hard to say if that was by design or just a really good audible. Either way, it's impressive.
I think the latter, if I'm...
And that makes it even more impressive, in my opinion, that you're able to react off of a poor situation and just bounce back. Obviously, big entry on Garage there from BCJ. That really turned the tides, and Crowd is sneaking in to C. He's been playing that side of the map on pretty much every default. This is one of the few times he's actually decided to try to sneak in there, and I think that's what's been great about XSET is they've given Ghost so many different looks this half.
Yep.
But it all starts from kind of a similar initial setup, and so that makes it even harder for Ghost to kind of figure out what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, too. If it is a late audible in that last round, XSET do get the chance to see 3 members over towards A long.
Yeah,
so the decision is made much easier by that. But a huge round here. Ghost, I mean, this is a must-win. Have to have it. It's going to be a double scope setup with the operator in one hand, The two are in the other, and of course, Koala will also bring the knives. You're working with the null command as well as a rolling thunder. Huge ultimate advantage for Ghost, looking to get 4.
Yeah, Dagger comes out to suppress BCJ at middle right away as they break the doors down at garage and start putting that pressure there. No A presence this time, and that's huge because Ghosts have Koala in sewers, so they know that there's no one A lobby, and they can really reroute that defense early to defend B and C sides as XSET take garage. And this might be a way more uphill battle for XSET with this rotation that Ghost have. Unless they can put this pressure back on sewers and push Koala noob off, then that opens things back up.
And you got to keep in mind that with things like a null command and rolling thunder combination, if you're Ghost, you could just play retake the entire round. That might be the predetermined decision. But first things first, it's going to be Koala noob. Can he connect? This would be a huge opening first if he gets an angle. Paranoia does connect. That is actually going to force him out, at least for a moment. But sticking with it does catch the sunglasses of Cryo. But nothing will be found with it. 45 seconds.
That's the big thing, though. Ghost knows that they have fallen back because Koala never got pushed entirely off. So, again, they still have a pretty stout defense in place at both B and C sides. So, again, XSET still has some work to do. It's going to be that retake C setup. But look at that counter-rolling thunder.
30 seconds left.
And Aaron getting not just the first, but a second through mid makes life very difficult for these Ghost defenders. You have to hold your ground. But Proto and Brock will both fall. And Nismo, who's lurking, he will kind of reveal his position, already spending the null command. XSET more than enough time to plant. 1v3 for Nismo.
Oh, my goodness, man.
Yeah.
That was huge because I thought Ghost did a pretty good job stalling out that late C attack due to Koala noob's information, but it didn't matter when Aaron gets such a big play in the B side.
Oh, but Nismo gets the opener. Knows there's a member inside garage, finds it. Now a 1v1. Fragment will come through. Flash on the opposite side. Peeks through it. And Nismo! A 1v3 to get Ghost to 4 before the half. What a play!
That was incredible individual play from Nismo. Great fragment, great flash, and great execution all around. Like you said, gets him a 4th round. Wow, that's unreal.
Well, it's halftime break. Swap the sides. Don't miss it. XSET Ghosts tied in a good one. Welcome back, everybody. Fireworks to finish off the first half, but in the end, the show dominated by XSET on the offensive half. 8-4 the tally as we swap the sides around. And Dust, the biggest thing that you had said at the beginning of this map, XSET defensively was much better than their offensive side back in stage 1.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So we'll see if that keeps up. So we are going to see early C attack here from Ghost, wasting no time. Good counter.
Oh, the flashes are good, but Koala stays alive a little bit longer than maybe expected, just based on his positioning. 2v2, or probably a 3v3 we go, as the first 2 will fall, and Aaron will turn the tides. And honestly, Ghost is already on the way out of the site at that moment in time. That's a little disjointed from Ghost.
What a great snap reaction from XSET on that C side. Not only Aaron just staying alive, which was fantastic in itself, but just beautiful utility there from Def on the breach to get them back into position. Yeah, like you said, it's going to push Ghost off at this spike. They're going to roll it back. You're still plenty of time, but they're a man down, and it's like, are you actually going to be able to find the gap you need to even get the spike down, much less win the round?
Well, we'll see. Defense has already moved to get here, and Aaron's actually going to walk through Link, and yeah. Brock not even going to hold. Going to get concussed, going to get flashed. Aaron puts a pistol in his earlobe. And now John is in a 1v3, although he may have a bit of timing here. You could see us on the minimap that Def is looking for this late play.
Oh, yeah. They know.
And, yeah.
They know.
Have to be ahead of a shot. Okay. He's heard footsteps above him. So the only real question here is where has Aaron gone off to? He's got to pick this up and stick for a plant. Trying to bait peaks. It's the first. Not enough time to plant, though, and BCJ will not give him the luxury of trying to get another 1v3 off the ground.
Nope. And just a little bit of a cherry on top. BCJ will get the final frag of the round as well. And again, just great utility usage to keep Aaron alive on C side, get the man advantage back, and really the only way that John Cutie's flank could have had impact is if they're able to get that spike down or at least get some type of frag, get it back into a 2v2, then all of a sudden there's possibilities, but really didn't have a shot there. Now XSET looked to reach double digits on this buy-up. 4 Spectres and the Marshal.
Oh, you would love to get a Thrifty here if you're Ghost. Would love to have it, but Cryo's already going to lock down a long. A little bit of assistance from the Trailblazer from BCJ. Who will say, nope, no one's in lobby. I will go ahead and reposition, and everything is going to go right to Def's direction. Good timing on this dark cover. And Def just spamming through it, gets 2?
Okay.
Oh.
That's a cool shot, though. Cool shot, but is it going to be enough? They're still down a man here. They still have not gotten Spike down. XSET have them pretty much covered on all angles here on this B side.
Oh, good fault line coming through. Yeah, no scope will work for Cryo. And everyone knows where John is. Unbelievable. I mean, what do you have to have? There's nothing you could say about it. Def he's just different.
Yeah, Def is doing big things there. No doubt about that. Honestly, a guy who's pretty new to the breach. You know, obviously was playing a lot of controllers last stage. But prior to that was a big Sentinel player on Dignitas. But yeah, seeing him pick up the breach here, I think this is only... God, it's got to be maybe only 4 or 5 games he's played breach now. Then we played it a couple of times in one of the third-party events they played. I think it was the Nerd Street Summer event. He had a couple of games on it against some of the Academy teams, but...
We'll see. XSET, even though they were a little bit more reserved from their offensive posturing, things looking a little bit more aggressive so far. Looking to take away some early space through a long. Smokes will try to counter as Ghosts are on their way, at least for the moment, leaning towards C. Of course, not committing, but definitely going to give it a look.
Yeah, Trademark obviously will give him some information. Aaron just decides to get the heck out of here, and for good reason. He knows he doesn't have the backup to really defend this initially, but now they can maybe look to work a quick disrupting retake, but a Proto and company cutting off this garage portion, but only for a moment. That's a big kill from BCJ.
And a little bit indeterminate right now is Ghost on where they want to set this post plant up. I mean, look at all the stuns and flashes coming through as XSET look to challenge quickly. Fragment trying to break up the play through C Garage, but BCJ will still collect all 3 eliminations for XSET's defense. And with that, Def also has a weapon to play with. 2v2 we go. Def still holding the long angle. Koala feeling frisky enough to challenge, but as he has to go to the reload, John follows up. And with the kill from Def, the Rolling Thunder will take it past the finish line. XSET just don't ever want to let Ghost get set up in any regard. That's a hell of a way to challenge.
That's the thing. Their retakes are so snappy. Like, you even saw it in the pistol. They wasted no time using utility to get back into C site before the Spike ever had a chance to plant. And right there, it's not like they really wait a whole heck of a lot of time to gather up to set up that retake like you see a lot of teams do. No, they're in there quick. They don't give you time to get comfortable with your post-plant positioning and feel like you have, you know, a good situation in front of you. And this is just great teamwork from Deft and Aaron to make that thing happen. And that's kind of another shout out that I want to give is to Aaron. This man has played so many roles for this team. He's one of the OGs of XSET. Probably the only one left, honestly. Goes from duelists to sentinels to controllers. I mean, he's really flexed for this team to help make room for other players.
Oh. Okay, well, this is a different look coming out from Ghost. Still staying aggressive as they are. Cryo looking for timing to get a peek over towards A Long. Not going to be gifted one. It's going to be down to BCJ and Def to hold. And somehow they've actually found Koala pretty darn cleanly. Trade starting to cover through, but BCJ still in the back corner. Somehow collects 2. Nope. Now Aaron, using the Shrouded Step to get in, has a 1v1 with Brock, but not able to take it. So it comes to Zekin. Quickly moving, trying to catch Brock, maybe as he pulls the weapon out, but is maybe a fraction of a second too late. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And yeah, the note I was trying to make is this is actually only Aaron's probably 4th game playing Omen. Again, played a lot of Viper previous to that when they were doing double controller setups, and then again, former Sentinel and former Duelist. So again, really making room for other players in this XSET team, but a big round there from Ghost. They needed that just for survival, you feel like.
Absolutely.
Keeps them in the race. Still have a tall mountain to climb, though, to really close that gap on the leaderboard. XSET contest with still some investment. Phantom for Aaron, Marshall for Zekin.
Another quick hit coming out from Ghost. Once again, happy to use utility to get to A Long cleanly. And XSET are actually going to vacate the site, knowing the Rolling Thunder is there. They're going to completely elude it. Fragment also used for Ghost, not that it would be needed to do too much here, and the spike plant will be given. Does XSET want to go quick? That's the real question.
Yep.
And it kind of looks like, yeah, indeed they do. Zekin just dashes on in. Frenzy from BCJ will follow up as the null command is trying to delay this a little bit longer, and I think largely that's going to be enough for Ghost.
Yeah, should be. There's not much firepower left here for XSET to use. They still have BCJ up towards Heaven side. The rest looking to come low. They clear out Aftershock on Under Heaven. Great paranoia comes in. They're starting to get a little bit of space here, but superior firepower reigning supreme from Ghost. Getting everything. Just Aaron left. And he will just backpedal with this Phantom. And so good execution and follow-up from Ghost to secure a round. Again, they're still far off from challenging that set, but they're starting to piece it together.
I mean, I guess the question would be, is that too expensive, though, from Ghost, having to spend the null command, the blades?
It's a lot. That's true.
I mean, it's a lot. And the Rolling Thunder, that's a lot for an anti-eco, essentially.
No, that's fair. That is a fair point. Now, you know, XSET comes to this with Seekers. They also have Cryo on the Tour de Force, so, you know, plenty of firepower at their disposal here to play defense.
Need this round if you're Ghost. Badly do you need this round.
Yeah. I mean, economy's in the toilet.
Yeah. You lose this one, you're looking down the gun at 6-12 with... Yeah, the force buys, I was going to say. So we'll see. Ghost more measured here in the opening 5 seconds, not throwing a ton of utility to try to get a long control. XSET, though, look at the stack up that they've got brewed up through sewer. It's a double stack early, trying to maybe get a flash peek involved for Cryo. But here it's not going to work out because here comes the play to see.
Yep, but teleport comes in here from Cryo to help be that assistance with Aaron. Again, they're just going to play for retake C, which they've been pretty darn successful at.
That's fair.
They seem to have it well drilled, so let's see how Ghost handle it this time around as Seekers come out.
Walnu will be read by this. 1v1 with BCJ. Oh, goes to the Cloudburst, and nearly that's enough to sacrifice a life. But Walla does stay alive, 3 HP to his name. Nismo, the first defender of this post plant forward, and he just gets blinded beyond recognition. BCJ, oh yeah. All right, Dust, you called it. Very drilled, very rehearsed, very clean.
Oh.
But Proto with 3 makes it maybe more difficult than initially anticipated.
There was a little drama there, but nothing that XSET couldn't handle. And yeah, I mean, their retakes just look so good. Seekers read the aggressive posturing by Ghost inside Garage post plant. While they don't clear him out, they're able to back off, do damage, and then just set up Zekin with the flashes to dash in, get that first frag they need to kind of get them the foothold on the site, and then they just paid for with no real trouble. And now they have 6 map points, as Ghost will call the timeout to talk things through. Again, very tight frag distribution, really for both these teams, but it's obviously XSET who sits supreme.
Yeah, truly.
And again, I love seeing BCJ performing well. This was a guy, when he first joined XSET, that not many people were regarding crazy high. Like, they knew he had potential. He had, you know, filled in for some teams, and he looked sharp, but they weren't really sure. And then he really molded himself into this, like, super consistent Sova player who could also flex into, like, Breach and Sky and things when need be. And he was definitely one of the more consistent pieces on this team, you know, prior to when they eventually bring in Zekin and Crowd to kind of be the stars that really kind of were the tip of the spear of this squad. But yeah, I feel like last stage he had some individual struggles here and there. And so to see him come out the gates looking strong is certainly great news for XSET, because it proves that they, you know, don't have that firepower shortage, that they have a lot of guys who can contribute. You know, Def, one of the better fragging in-game leaders. So it certainly looking good for XSET here. Good initial showing. See if they can finish it off.
It'll be Blades for Zekin. Tour looks like it'll be held for a future round, as the operator is still in hand here for Cryo. And on the opposite side, as mentioned, it's not an unhealthy buy here for Ghost, but it is labored in some regards, especially considering that Brock has an SMG in his back pocket. Early commitment for Koala, but the rest of Ghost have not pushed through this. So XSET's going to have a little bit of extra time to get in position to get a confirmation on this play and be able to challenge the post plant from multiple angles.
Yeah, again, can Ghost hold off this retake? It's been so deadly from XSET every single time. Crow already has a good angle towards platform. Trailblazer leads the way, gives up Nismo's position onto site. Nismo tries to play up close with a little bit of a pot flash to slow this thing down, but here comes that Rolling Thunder.
Oh, and quickly dashing in is Zekin. Blades in hand, looking to stay into the cloud burst, and ooh, doesn't actually fall here. Oh, there's the job done. Rock and Proto doing the work, and Ghost will hold this time, even through the Rolling Thunder. Good news for Ghost fans.
Yeah, Ghost kind of picked up on Zekin's little smoke, kind of center back sight that he was trying to use in the previous round to good effect. This time it gets shut down, doesn't get any frags with the Blade Storm. And just better efficient trading. Like you said, Rolling Thunder connects, but Koala kind of beat it. He was kind of in front of it. Able to be a distraction that his teammates can kind of play off of. And so a much needed round for Ghost does come through. Low buy here for XSET. They have plenty of rounds to burn, so not looking to overcommit.
Heavy commitment, though, for Ghost to continue to play through lobby, even after being fault lined. Cryo, oh, he's going to have to hit some miracle shots right here if this dark cover falls in front of his face.
He needs a banger off the rip, that's for sure. He's already getting spammed. Misses, but gets out of there at least.
Yeah, BCJ at the shotgun. Oh, Flash will cover, but Cryo still defensively trying to hold. It's a Marshall up top for Zekin. And now Aaron is looking to make a play through the back of mid, but Trademark will be the first alert system to that play, and now XSET have to decide, how do we do this? Oh, God,
Tough.
Not that way.
Yeah, not a whole lot they can do. They just don't have the firepower. Obviously, that little flank gets caught. So we have to wait for Aaron to get over here towards A-Link, and they're going to give this one little push. I mean, obviously, might as well. You don't have a whole lot to save over or anything like that. But it's crushed.
Yep. Aaron NT tries to steal a weapon. Not going to work out. So Ghosts do what needed to be done.
Yeah.
Survive through a couple of big ultimates from XSET.
And have 4 of their own now.
Yeah.
So they're definitely going to give themselves a nice push here. XSET will call a timeout. It's starting to hit that range on the scoreboard where you're like, all right, you know, we've lost 4 of the last 5. Our big lead's shrinking. Let's tone it down a little bit here. Let's slow things down and kind of talk through some things. As, you know, they know that they're about to go up against a bunch of alts from the opposition. You know, how do you want to maneuver around that?
And the curious thing is, I'm wondering if XSET here on this timeout want to consider maybe a more forward defense around C, because everything from C so far has been based off of retake.
Yeah, and Ghost has shut down everything a couple of times.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, do you want to threaten that early play for this fight? Don't just let Ghost walk on in. Do we want to try to spend different utility in that area?
Well, you need to burn some of their alts to get on site. You don't want them to just walk in there, like you said, freely. Then you're playing for retake like they've been very keen to do on the C side in particular, and all of a sudden you got alts running you down to stop you from getting that space you're used to getting. So, yeah, I think maybe something a little bit more assertive could certainly help. I mean, Crowd, previous round certainly tried, but just didn't get anything from it on the aggression on the A, but maybe put him somewhere else. And, yeah, they're looking to push down C Garage a little bit here. Second
the curious thing will be, is this just fault line with a dark cover, or is this fault line paranoia? Because if it's fault line paranoia, that's expensive.
Yeah.
No, it's just a dark cover. Okay.
Oh.
So they get the initial peek. Yep, you don't see anything. Back on up. Trailblazer to try to delay. Rendezvous in the way. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Flash, I imagine, is behind this. Yeah, there it is. Koala Noob also on top. The Rendezvous will allow XSET's defense to get out of sight safely.
Yeah, Spike gets planted. We are going to see the null command get popped here. Brock setting up the aftershock to try to cut off the slow side rotation. Aggression from Koala Noob gets silenced pretty quickly there by BCJ, so we're at even as this final push comes in.
That's a lot of the post-plant utility spent from Ghost, so now it's on to XSET. How do you retake through this? A delayed knife will keep XSET at bay a little while longer. 4v4. BCJ picks up the op, looking to take down that long angle through A. From the shadows, checking out Sewers defensively. There's the fault line, plus also the flash, but Nismo has taken one step further forward than XSET expected, and it's going to work out beautifully. All of a sudden, we're looking down 9-12, and if they want it, Ghost might be able to salvage the op and decide instead, no chance.
Yeah, really good job there from Nismo to take that extra little aggressive angle on the low side after some of the initial battles and really cut that portion off where XSET could not find a way through. Like you said, though, that was all their alts, but XSET are back onto a save, just Sheriff, so a chance for Ghost to reach double digits. That puts him within 2 of forcing an overtime. That's where things start to get tight. Now, with that said, you're about to have Rolling Thunder for Def in the next gun round, and BCJ has Seekers. So those are some big retake tools, and we already know how proficient XSET have been on these retakes. So that could give them the edge they need, you know, going into round 23 to still wind up with a W here.
And really, even if you're XSET and you find a couple of kills, the repurchase consideration for Ghost is really not a main factor. They've got so much cash built up after this spree they've been on. So even if XSET were to get a couple of kills, it wouldn't feel great necessarily.
Yeah, that's been the big difference is Ghost is starting to fend off these retakes, particularly on the A side of the map. They've had a lot of success. And, I mean, they've really closed the gap. So good composure from them. Again, this is their first time playing VCT. Didn't make it through the last qualifiers for Stage 1 earlier this year. Made a couple of changes at the beginning of the year, then made another big change bringing in a Proto back in April to come into Stage 2 with a fresh face, so to speak. And certainly impressive to get here. Let's see what they can do.
Ooh, Judge is on this side of the map. Qualamoo will move in. Fault line through, and the Judge is shut down. But second with the Sheriff. Delays a little while longer, but it's only good for an initial kill. Aaron picked up. Qualanoob's forward position will secure the round, and now we've got almost a must-win round for XSET here. Otherwise, we could be looking down the throat of an overtime.
Absolutely. I was surprised that Judge didn't get a little bit more. I thought that he had waited it out pretty well, but really nice job there from Ghost to break through all that. But now here come XSET with a couple of ults in play. Operator back in the hands of Cryocells. See what they're going to do here.
I'm honestly curious to see if they're going to try to get this Operator an early pick. We haven't really seen...
He's going to play C up top.
Forward. Yeah, we haven't seen any forward contests from XSET at all, but no sniper presence defensively early. And Ghosts are going to not just show force, they're going to commit to B. Quick play coming through. This is going to force the decision for Def. Do you want to go to the Rolling Thunder immediately? They're trying to bait it out, and it's actually not going to get called in. It's just utility for XSET to stop the play at B. Oh, but that's a huge pick for Ghost.
Yeah, no sooner did I say that was a nice job from XSET. What a big kill from John Cutie up long. So that opens up that C side and gives them man advantage to get the spike in. Now XSET still have their ults available for this retake, and they waste no time sending one of them forward. Rolling Thunder to disrupt.
Oh, but the smokes and the paranoia are going to keep Ghost safe, even be able to time the first two kills, and then the third comes out. What is this from Ghost? It's been an unbelievable offensive spree from them, and now they're one away from sending it to overtime.
Indeed, they are. Once again, they put a halt to XSET's retake. What they were reliant upon early in the half to build up the big lead, it's now failed them. And now we are coming into the final round of regulation where XSET are worse for wear. Have to get a Guardian and Cryocells and Spectre for BCJ. Spectre for Aaron as well. No ults on the table for either squad, but Nismo's not too far off a null command. Zekin, of course, not too far off the Bladestorm in his own right. And it's going to be a big early C-punch here from Ghost, it looks like.
Flashes are already through. Knife also there. No paranoia yet. But XSET are not giving up the site. They're trying to hold this close. Cloudburst to keep Qualanoob alive. And Def and BCJ will get the first two. One more around the corner. The paranoia connects, but it doesn't make a difference. It's the SMGs that might just get the job done. How has this happened? After just domination from Ghost, they get bested by Spectres?
Yep, it's just a turn of face from XSET to play on site, to get the most they could out of those close-range weapons by just choosing to defend. Ghosts haven't thrown that many fakes. You know, they've been pretty keen on just going. And so XSET willing to kind of bite the bullet, stack up once they felt that pressure and just hold their ground, and it's played out perfectly for them. Now it's all on Brock, and, I mean, he's got nothing going for him here. How do you get past this?
I don't know.
You don't.
You just pray.
Yeah. Whatever deity
get a Rolling Thunder,
that's
about the only way. Not going to happen. And there's a joke to be made about Ghost losing to Spectres. But I'm not wise.